To the Naluri community webinar. Okay, I assume everyone is coming in right now. We will wait for a few minutes before we start, so we can like have some time. If let's say you haven't had your coffee or tea, you can go and grab your coffee or tea now. Yeah, so just to let you know, like on the right side of the screen, you can actually put on your chat, and I can see some of the people already like put in like some of the message there. Yeah, and good morning. I can see a lot of people saying good morning here. I'm really happy to see all of you here. Oh, it was a rainy morning. Okay, I think in my area was still okay. But I hope when you travel to work, you are doing fine. Morning everyone. Okay, I think we will just wait for like 1 more minute, then we will start. Have you all taken breakfast? Not yet. My nickname. My nickname. My name is Chervonne. Yes. Okay. I can see some of you have taken the breakfast. That's good. If not, yeah, maybe after this you can have brunch. All right. Okay. Okay. I think it's 10:02. Maybe we can just start now. Okay. I hope you are ready. I'm really excited to speak to all of you here. And the webinar today is called Revive and Recharge for Meaningful Work. So before previously we already do together. Oh, I think I kind of know who you are, I guess. Okay, so here's some housekeeping before we start the webinar. Just to let you all know that it will be good for you to use some of the supported browser, for example, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge. Those are recommended. If let's say you're not using it, so then you have to make sure it actually will be smooth for you as we continue the webinar today, and make sure that your internet connection is stable. And if you ever experience any technical difficulty, so you can try to refresh your browser or rejoin the webinar. But if let's say you continue to experience the issue, you can send a private message to @Naluri events actually. So we have someone there to assist us today. And feel free to ask questions here or share your thoughts. I will make sure that I read your message. And if I ever miss out, you can actually remind me, or I think our admin today will also remind me. And if let's say you want to send a question directly to me, you can type @Chervonne, then you will be able to do so. And if let's say you want to keep it anonymously, you don't want everyone to check your message, you can make sure that be sure that you take the send private message so that you can send anonymously. If let's say you want to get the PDF of this webinar, there will be a webinar document share at the end of the webinar as well. Lastly, you will receive a recording of the webinar in the inbox after the event as well. So, but if let's say you don't receive it, you can feel free to check Naluri website or our official YouTube channel as well. So you'll get your recording there. So yeah, so throughout the session, feel free to participate in the sessions. And here are just some of the introduction, a little bit about me. My name is Chervonne. I'm a licensed counselor. I'm also a HRDC accredited trainer. So my background is actually from Master of Professional Counseling. And so far I've experienced in a few settings like corporate setting, telehealth platform like Naluri, or some of the NGO or institutions, as well as I'm also doing my private practice as well. So if you have any burning question related to counseling as well, you can feel free to ask here. I'll be here to answer you as well. And here are just some of the gentle reminders that I have for each of you. I just want you to know that this is a safe and judgment-free space. So you don't have to pretend that you are super good today, or pretend that you are good, very okay. Just come as you are, take whatever that you need. And if I ever share anything resonate with you, yeah, feel free to nod, smile, or even share it with us in the chat if you don't mind. But if let's say it doesn't, then it's okay as well. You can just take whatever that you find helpful today. And lastly, you have the permission to post. So if you ever feel like overwhelmed at any point, it's okay for you to take a breath, stretch your body, and grab a coffee as well. So I just want you to know that you can listen to your body first. Yeah, so let's go with our webinar today. So before we start, I have a question, a reflection question for you, because I realized, oh, it's December already. This year has come so fast. And I believe many of us may have think about, okay, wow, it's already year end. How's my year have been? And what about our work this year? So something for you to reflect. You can take a moment here and ask yourself, if your work this year were a movie, what would its title be? Like, what kind of title would you give it to your work? And maybe you can share in the chat with us, or even you can message it privately here, and I'll be here to read. Yeah, but it would be something good for us to think back. How have we been feeling about our work, about our career? Do we feel like satisfied? Do we feel really happy about it? Or is there any things that you actually feel a little bit dissatisfied, or you want it to be better? Because that would be really helpful information for us to print for the 2026, the next year. So it will be really great. You can take the moment to think about it. But if let's say you prefer not to share it with us, it will be a good reflection question to think about it. Or if let's say you need a longer time, maybe you can just jot down the question here, and at the end of the day you can take some time to think about it. Yeah. And okay, it seems I know one is sharing here, so I assume that you are doing it by yourself, or you can take some time to think about it whenever you want. And since we talked a little bit about movie, I want to talk a bit about um, oh, okay. We will talk about it later, but this is just an agenda for today. So we talk about this framework throughout the webinar. You just have to remember these 3R: rewind, recharge, and reconnect. So these 3 points will be very helpful for us to explore, to find like how do we have a more meaningful kind of work, a more meaningful kind of career. And don't worry, we will go through it bit by bit. And the first thing we will talk about will be rewind. Yeah, because just like any movie that we watch, sometimes we want to like look into the background of the story, or how's the world building. And I think of a movie that I want to talk about it earlier on. It's actually called Spider-Man. I'm not sure whether everyone here actually watched this, but it's a very, very famous superhero movie. And there's this famous quote called, "With great power comes great responsibility." So this is something that was told to Spider-Man, and it's kind of like a feature or something really famous. Whenever we think about Spider-Man, we may think about this quote, because he's such a responsible person. He has a lot more power than the usual, but he could have hide it. Oh, okay. So some of you mentioned that, oh, it's your favorite movie. That's really nice. It's also one of my favorite movie. Yeah. So for Spider-Man, right? If let's say we don't get to know more about his background, we wouldn't know, okay, how come this person want to be like responsible? Yeah. But as we get to know more about the background, we actually get to see that, oh, he actually grew up with maybe with Auntie May, and also with Uncle Ben, and there's also with the death of Uncle Ben, that kind of like shaped him, shaped his personality, shaped his character. So this will be something really good for us to, like an analogy for us to think back about our life as well. Because I'm sure that there are moments in your life growing up that have influenced your career choice, or even the work that you choose. Yeah, so it would be good for you to take a moment to think back. Growing up, what experiences, interests, or moments actually led to the work you do today? Like, could it be like a childhood curiosity, like something that you have been curious about? Like maybe some people are really curious about like, how do you like pilot fly on the sky, and then kind of like lead him or her to where they are right now? Or was it because of a mentor or a teacher, like someone that has been so important, so influential in your life to lead you to your career choice today? Or it can be like a challenge that you overcame earlier on, or some of the circumstances that kind of shape your path. Like I do have a client that growing up, it was quite difficult. The father passed away in a really early stage, and since then the client wanted to be pick up the responsibility to take care of the family, want to be a provider like the father. So the client has been really working hard, try to like earn as much money to provide for the family. Or like sometimes it could be interest for some people. Like for example, I think artists in our country doing art is not easy, but there are still people becoming an artist here, and still want to choose to do art. So this is something that also could be like coming from us, like from our own interests, to kind of lead us to where we are today. So for you yourself, like if let's say you are working in maybe in a bank or in a corporate company or doing some sort of like marketing, so it would be good for you to reflect like, oh, actually what made me want to like choose the job that I actually doing today, and that will help you to understand more about yourself. Yeah, and today I want to introduce a concept called flow theory. Not sure if any of you can understand this or have heard of it. Yeah, and if let's say you any of you, I think I saw someone that needs some technical assistance, you can actually add Naluri events and to get the get the to get the assistant. And then when it comes to this theory, it's called flow, and it just feel like the quote, the famous quote, growing with the flow. So similarly, this theory actually kind of very similar. It works similarly, where it's talking about when a person can enter a state of deep focus, where you can just so focus doing one thing, and it feels like you forget about like the surrounding, and you find really enjoyable, you find challenging, but you enjoy in the process. For example, like if let's say you are trying out a new recipe and you're really enjoying it, it may take like a longer time, and but at the same time you still really enjoy it. Like you feel like you want to try to like get to know how do you get to like how do you get to be better the recipe, then that would be really helpful. So you can reflect like in your career, like what are some of the things that actually really helpful for you to like, oh, actually what are some of the things that you are really good at. Like for example, I do have people telling me that, oh, actually I'm working as a maybe HR executive or admin, but actually some of the tasks that I really enjoy, for example, like marketing, I realized that I can leverage on my creativity and to try out new things. So that can be a flow state. So you can also reflect on what are some of the things that you feel that you really enjoy doing it and you are constantly growing. And you can look at the graph on the right side. Um, so there's this flow state that you can see, and there's a spiral growth. So the horizontal line would be the level of skills, and the vertical line would be the level of challenges. So if let's say you have a certain skill matching well with the challenges that you face, you actually will find really enjoyable. And as the challenges continue to increase, your skill will increase as well, because you get yourself challenged, you want to get better and better. So you actually make sure that you are constantly growing. But if let's say the level of challenges is actually too much for you, it's very overwhelming, then it can create a lot of anxiety. Yeah, where you can see like the challenges is really high, but then the level of skills hasn't met there yet. So then could be a state that we would want to be there, because it may lead to burnout. It will make us to feel like, it's too hard for me, I don't want to continue anymore, and eventually we may give up. And if let's say sometimes we are just so scared of failing, like we don't want to like try new things because there's a risk of failure. Yeah, so in a way we can keep ourselves like really safe. We don't try out any new thing, but eventually we may feel very bored about it. Like, oh, every day I'm just doing the same thing. I'm really good about it, but you may not feel satisfied. Like this career or work, you don't feel satisfied, and in long run it may not be that sustainable. Like maybe like after a few years, eventually you will feel like, oh, very dreadful to go to work, because the work doesn't give you much meaning anymore. Yeah, so it would be good for you to think back what are some of the things that you actually enjoy in your work. We don't have to just look at the job title, but the job task that's involving in the job actually. Yeah, some people may be really good at like maybe analytical skills. Like you may find them like, oh, when it comes to like analyzing kind of tasks, yeah, they will be really good at it. Yeah. And and I can see some of the comments here, like talking about when it comes to like accounting field, it has been a dream to become. Yeah, but when sometimes like circumstances in our environment may make us feel demotivated as well. Like not only our skills, like whether matching with it, sometimes whether we feel like we are appreciated, because I think some of you mentioning about the appreciation, that also can affect us. Yeah, so then we may need to look into what kind of environment would be more suitable for us and help us to feel a bit more motivated in order for our talents or our strength to show up. Because sometimes when we are in different setting, we can show up really differently. Some people maybe in one kind of setting they feel really safe, and they can let the talent to come out, and they do very well there. But if let's say they're in a certain setting that they don't feel safe at all, sometimes like when we call like toxic environment, where they get bullied or they're constantly being put down, then that would not be a suitable environment for us to leverage on our talents. And eventually we will be focusing more on like how to survive in the setting, compared to like how to continue to grow in our skills, in our talents. Yeah. And aside from that, I want to introduce this experiential activity for you to experience how flow feels like. So it's called the signature loop. So first, you can sign your name with your dominant hand. So maybe you can find a pen and a paper to try it out. So if let's say your right hand is your dominant hand, like usually you use your right hand to write, you can use it to sign your name. And I assume you guys already do so. I just give a few seconds. And the second step is you can now use your non-dominant hand to do the same. So for me, the right hand would be my dominant hand. Yeah, so the left hand will be the non-dominant hand. So try to use your non-dominant hand to write to sign your name now. Yeah, then maybe you can share with us your experience. Okay, I think I can see someone share that it's hard to use the non-dominant hand. It's mirror. Yeah, it's true, because it's not something that we are really used to. But when it comes to the dominant hand, that's like we go to, like, because everyone have different non-dominant hands. Some of us like maybe with some of the people maybe the left hand as the dominant hand. Some of us could be like the right hand as the dominant hand. So everyone will be very different. And I also want to remind everyone that our talent will be quite different from the people around us, or our strength could be quite different. So because I realize sometimes we may compare ourselves to other people, and to find ourselves like, oh, well, how come I cannot do as good as another person? Yeah, so we good to find your talent, then you can find out more about yourself. Okay, and some people say that the right hand is steady, and the right hand will be iffy. Okay, and the non-dominant side is too haywire. Yeah, correct. So when it comes to the dominant hand, everything feels very unconscious. So there's actually four state. So when it comes to your work, it should be like a similar feeling to you. Like it's not too like it takes super a lot of efforts. Could be you can leverage on your talent, and even when challenges come, you can just continue to grow on that. Yeah, but not to the state that you overwhelm yourself, you hit to the burnout state where you are not taking good care of yourself. Yeah, and the second one, when you use your non-dominant hand, it feels like it takes a lot of effort. It's like very clunky. Yeah, so when it comes to like work that doesn't matching with your skills, your talents, or even making you feel safe, like the setting, then everything may not feel that automatic. So you can try to find out like, okay, what are some of the things that you really enjoy, and it feels like you are really good at it. And if let's say you haven't found it yet, that's okay. You can start from it today, because there's no age limit for this. A lot of the people they actually find out more or think about more as they start working, because as we grow up, maybe a lot of time we are being taught that, hey, you need to like study hard and then you quickly get a job, or it's better for you to get a job that's very, very stable. But as we grow older, as we start doing the job that we wanted to do, it will tell us a lot more information about it, like whether we really like it or not, whether is it something that we enjoy it. So if let's say you find out like, hey, actually this is not something that I really enjoy, or I realize that I have been thriving in my career. So these are some of the signals that can tell us, okay, what are some of the things can lead me into the flow state. Yeah. And the second point that I want to talk about will be recharge, because like there's no point for you to know about like what you're good at without energy to execute it. It's just like maybe the phone. Like I'm sure every one of us have a phone with us. Yeah. So if let's say your phone have a lot of function, but there's no battery, there's no battery, then there's no point for you to use the phone. So similarly, when it comes to us as human, we do need to recharge as well. We do need to make sure that our energy actually come back for us to do well in our maybe in our career, in our life. So having this pause button once in a while would be really good to just reflect like how we are doing. Do we need to do a bit more things or do a bit less thing for us to gain back to the energy? So when it comes to recharge, I think many people would think about like the picture here. Oh, I want to go to the beach, I want to go for glamping, camping, or I want to like ride on a board. Yeah, it feels like really relaxing, right? And sometimes we do need to go for traveling. Yeah, we do need to like have some time to like have a breather, especially it's year end. I think many people may start thinking about, oh, should I go for holiday or not? Yeah. And personally, I also just came back from a really, really short trip just for me to recharge. And hence, I think this morning when I just came back yesterday, and then this morning when I think about, oh, I realized I have a bit more energy when I actually gonna have this webinar today. It's just that my voice is like a little bit off because I think I had a little bit too much durian yesterday. Yeah, so it would be really good for you to think about, okay, what would be good for me to have a retreat, like how to recharge my energy. Some people enjoy traveling, some people enjoy like staying at home to just maybe not socializing with people, to just having some alone time. So depending on like what are the things that you actually enjoy, because some people they want to go out every day, like catching up with the friends, that can also recharge them. And I can see that I have audience mentioning about good sleep. Yes, sleep is very important. Good food as well. Will be stressed out about the fun. I cannot. Yeah, it's true. Like when it comes to like traveling, sometimes we do need to like spend like certain amount of money. Like even when I wanted to go for a trip, I do feel like, oh, do I really want to spend the amount of money just to have fun, right? So maybe you can think about, if let's say maybe going for a long trip is not working, yes, then maybe we can think about some of the more affordable kind of thing. Like what are some of the things that you can do within your city, like a free activity, like for example, staying at home or doing some art activity, or going out to hang out with friends, like playing some badminton, going to the park, so or going hiking. I think Malaysia has a lot of good hiking place that's free. So these are also some of the things that maybe we can consider, like looking at the fun or the resources that we have. Yeah, and some people mentioning about enjoying traveling, even I have to take unpaid leave. For me, my mental health is important. Yeah, it's true. Like having some time break actually would be really good about our mental health. And I would say in some of the company or even overseas, people even have like mental health leave, just for them to rest and make sure that their mental health is like being secure. Like they want to make sure that they take good care about their health as well. How can I recharge if there's no sufficient budget? Even more relaxed time is difficult to gain. Yeah. So when it comes to like not having enough time or enough money, then we may not have the luxury to go for a long trip. Yeah. So similarly, it would be good to consider something really small that maybe I can share about it later. I have something to share to help us to like try to relax ourselves, try to bring our focus back to the present. Yeah, and it may not take like much time and it's free. So I'll share more about it later. Yeah, but aside from that, some of the things that I mentioned, like going hiking, playing badminton, going to the park, yeah, those things could be helpful, that we don't have to spend a lot, but we still get to do something fun together. And immersing in nature also would be one of the things that helpful for many people. Yeah, so this is something that based on research. So it would be good for you to take some time to maybe walk in the park as well, because without the trees, actually it can be really stressful. Just continue to like go to work in the city life. I just love to play badminton, gym sport, so I'm recharged myself. Yeah, correct. Like doing something like sports would be really helpful because it can release things like the dopamines, the happy kind of hormones in our body as well. So even though like you may take a lot of energy for you to exercise, but just doing it for like 5 to 10 minutes, it actually can change a little bit of the mood as well. My salary is only for survival right now. Yeah, it sounds like it's really difficult right now. Yeah, so maybe going for a trip may not be sustainable. So then maybe can go for something like an option that would be more suitable for you. So we don't have to be the same as everyone. And I think that sometimes some people share with me that when they open their social media, especially year end, they see many people traveling. And maybe if let's say we are being so caught up with like our work or with maybe our finance, it's not something that we can do. It would be good to reduce the social media time, doing something that you may enjoy. Like for some people, it could be going for swimming. Some people would be just relaxing at home or chatting with a friend. So something that is still within your capacity and you still enjoy it. My recharge time just meet my little boy after working time. Yeah, sometimes playing with like the baby boy, toddler would be really helpful. Sometimes it feels so wrong to take break and go for holiday. Yeah, I think many people can relate to this, and personally I do too. I think it's not easy like to think about like, oh, I actually want to secure this fund for fun, because growing up, I think in our Asian culture, fun is not something, it's like a necessity for us. Yeah, but actually it's really important. I would say it's a necessity for us to have some kind of some time to have fun. Yeah, because if you look at a child, if you take away their fun time, they will actually feel so suffer. Similarly, as like an adult, it's actually very similar. We do need to have some fun time for us to let the brain to have a rest, so that the brain can function better. If let's say you continue to let your phone to work without stopping or letting it to rest, eventually it get heat up and everything to go slow. Like it may affect your concentration as well. And I think I have some other comments here. Like ultimately for sandwich jam. Yeah, correct. I think when it comes to like, if let's say you have parents to take care of and also have children, you are in the middle. Yeah, that's when we call sandwiches. It's actually really hard. And actually, I would say not a topic that many people talk about, but many people are experiencing, where you are the caregiver, the provider of the family, and it can actually create a lot of stress. Yeah, so then for people who may not have the time to go for like a long holiday, would be good to think about something small, like a 5 to 10 minutes throughout the week, just for yourself. Like even just a half an hour would be really helpful, because when we contribute all our time for everyone surrounded us without giving a little bit back to ourselves, eventually we may get burnt out and we may not be able to like continue to give to the people that we love, because we are so drained, we are just so tired. Yeah, and I think some of the other people are mentioning about like social media detox, like by deactivating social media accounts is good for the health. Yeah, sometimes yeah, taking too long time in social media actually may not be that helpful, because most of the time people will post the good moment in social media, and a lot of time that we may compare our weaknesses to people's strengths, or our not so good time to people good time. So it's actually quite unfair for us when we open the social media and then we make some comparison there. Yeah. And I actually wanted to mention to this. I'm not sure if any of you look at the picture will know who this is, but I'm sure most of us heard of the name Bill Gates. So he's actually the co-founder of Microsoft. Yeah, and I think most of us sometimes we use MacBook, sometimes we use Microsoft computer. is actually coming from like this also part of it, like I think with the employee help. So but the main point is I want to talk about this thing week. So Bill Gates has this habit every year where he will take like a 1 week off to go for a retreat just to read and reflect, and it will be like a gadget free. So he will try to reduce the usage of gadgets just for him to have like some sort of like reflections and also deep thinking. Yeah, so I want to put this out is because it's not to ask everyone to have this thing week as well, or like have like a 1 week to just read or reflect. But I think it's really good for us to take it as a reference. Like having some time off from the gadget would be really helpful just for us to think and to reflect on ourselves, how we are doing, so that we can sync with ourselves, because a lot of time we may get so caught up with like the things that we need to do at work or the everyday demands. Yeah, so having some time off and just some moment to pause would be really helpful to boost the creativity and gain clarity as well, because the more that you reflect, the more that you know about yourself, you have more clarity to know like what kind of direction you want to have for the future, and just have some mental recharge as well. I think if let's say you have a car, most of us will send it for maintenance at least once a year. If not, eventually it can actually get broken down. Like I think a few weeks ago when I was on the road, suddenly my car cannot go on. Like I can feel that, oh, the car is stopping in the highway. That was really scary. And sometimes if let's say when we don't like do some sort of maintenance for ourselves, these kind of things may happen. So like suddenly we just feel like we are not like ourselves anymore. Suddenly we feel that I'm losing energy. I feel like I don't feel like I have energy to go on tomorrow. I just felt like I want to lie down on my bed throughout the day. So that's when we hit the state of burnout, and we may need a longer time to actually recharge back. So for us it would be good to have like a short maintenance time here and there to take care of ourselves, make sure we recharge ourselves so that we don't hit to the burnout and eventually take a longer time to regain our energy back. Yeah, and would be good to build a personal empowerment ritual as well. So maybe you can also think about like come up with a personal kind of ritual for you to regain the energy. Like it can be like a weekly plan or like a daily plan. Like I want to make sure that I at least spend like a 5 minutes for myself each day, before I go to work or before I start my work. Yeah, that may be really helpful. So earlier on, I think there's someone asked, talk about like what if like we have no budget, but we want to have some time to relax. Like how do we do, right? So this will be one thing that's free and is very quick and very helpful. Research proven, experience proven that is helpful for us to calm our mind, calm our body down. It's called 4-7-8 breathing, or sometimes we call it deep breathing. And we can do it together here so that you get to practice. And when we finish the webinar, you can also do it on your own. So when it comes to deep breathing or this 4-7-8 breathing, it talks about like we calm ourselves down, let our mind to focus on the breath, and we also take in more oxygen back to the body for the body to feel calmer, and there's more oxygen supply to the brain as well. Then you will have better concentration too. So we can do it together. It will be helpful for you to take one hand to put on your chest, another hand to put on your stomach. This is for you to feel whether the air actually breathe in deeply or not. Yeah, and it will be helpful if let's say you close your eyes also. So later on, we will breathe in using our nose, and then we will breathe out using our mouth. So you can look at the screen here, like we will inhale for 4 seconds, and then we'll hold the breath in the body for 7 seconds, and then we will exhale it for 8 seconds. So let's do it together. You may close your eyes, and then just try to relax yourself. You can sit comfortably. Would be good for you not to lie down. I'm scared that you will fall asleep. So you still have like one more point to talk about in this webinar. So you may close your eyes, and then if let's say your mind started to wandering elsewhere, it's okay. just come back to focus on the breathing or even my voice. And I want you to breathe in using your nose, 2, 3, 4, and then you hold the breath in your body, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then let's breathe out using our mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, very good. You may continue to close your eyes. So just now as you breathe in, right, I want you to make sure that your stomach is like expanding like that, and so that the air actually go inside. And if let's say you don't feel anything on your hand, then maybe you need to breathe in a little bit more of the air. And as we breathe out, you should be able to feel that your belly like becomes smaller. And let's do it again. Let's close eyes and let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and then let's hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and let's breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's do it 2 more times. Let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then let's breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, very good. Yeah, so let's do it one last time. Okay, let's just continue to close the eyes. And if let's say you realize any tension on your body, you can stretch yourself a little bit. Okay, let's breathe in again. Let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and let's breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, very good. Okay, now maybe you can also share briefly like how you're feeling in the chat, and how I will read it here as well. Okay, I think I missed out the chat earlier on. Saturday for sport and rest, Sunday for family. Yeah, so like having some kind of like plan would be really helpful. I'm very thinking sometimes it's hard to acknowledge the fact that we work 5 days back to back and only left 1 day and only left 2 days to rest. Yeah, correct. Like actually, working for 5 days and just rest for 2 days is actually not a lot, because we have been working hard for so long, right? Okay, sleepy. Okay, some people feel sleepy after doing the breathing activity. Yeah, so if you feel sleepy, it could be telling your body is telling you that you're not having enough rest. Yeah, because this breathing actually will help us to calm down, and then we will start noticing how our body is feeling. So if you feel sleepy, at the end of the day, it would be good for you to take some time, like make sure you have enough rest. Usually we'll do family time, go out, leisure things on Saturday, then Sunday just stay at home to prepare for Monday. Weekend feels so short now. Yeah, correct. Yeah, sometimes we do need some time off, but then we also have like family time or like some other things on weekend. Yeah, so it would be really good for us to just secure like just a little bit of time, like a 10 to 20 minutes is okay as well. Yeah, just so that you know that you have this time for yourself and no one can interrupt that. And I think someone mentioned about feeling more calm. Yeah, that's really good. I would say this 4-7-8 breathing is very helpful for people actually find it hard to sleep or find it hard to concentrate in front of the laptop. You can actually do that. Sometimes if let's say my mind, like my brain is so awake, like maybe I have to like do some work at night, and then when I want to sleep, I cannot fall asleep. I may also do this breathing work, because it's really helpful to calm our mind so that we can fall asleep easily, or so that we can focus on our work better. Yeah, doing everything we love with beloved person, family, friends are best relief though. Cooking, playing games, spending time for a short vacation, everything we love. Yeah, correct. So it would be really good for us to know what are the things that we love, so that we won't be like so lost about like what are some of the things I can do when I want to take some time to rest. So it would be good for you to take some time to explore also like your hobby or other things that you enjoy. Yeah, so earlier on I mentioned about the personal ritual. So perhaps you can also have like a similar ritual as well, like in the morning, like having a coffee or tea or something for you to drink, to just reflect as well, like what would be something that I want to focus today, or what is one daily career goal, career intention that you want. Then throughout the day, you just focus on one thing. Because sometimes we have so many things piled up, it's very hard for us to just focus on like what we want to do. But our mind can, like based on research, we can only focus on one thing at a time. So it'd be good to just set like a daily goal for you just on today, and then let's don't think about too long, like maybe in the future would be helpful. And maybe before your meeting, before you start work, would be good to do like a breathing reset that we tried on earlier. Like you can try it like a 1 to 2 minutes. It doesn't take so long. Yeah, so we can try to reset your mind and calm, and so that you have better focus. Yeah, and or even evening time, you can have a laughter reset. So like watching something funny. And earlier on when I do some research, I realized that watching like a cat videos actually is quite helpful for your brain to rest as well. So if let's say you want to go on social media, then maybe you can search for some funny video for you to have some laughter as well. And throughout the day, if let's say you work from 8 to 5, it would be good for you to have micro break as well. Because if let's say you let your body to sit on the chair for a whole day long, also very bad for your back. And eventually you may have some sort of like back issue or feeling like sore kind of feeling. So it would be good for you to have micro break. And at the end of the day, like when you want to finish work already, you can just say that, okay, I'm calling it a day, you can tidy your task. And or having your own ritual is also fine, like writing a sticky note, like saying that, oh, I did a good job today. Yeah, that would be really helpful. And after your work, then will be your having a personal time. So this personal time, you can do anything that you want. If let's say you have family, of course, I think then you may need to make sure you set out like a separate personal time for yourself. Yeah, and like some people, maybe you can also have some time to pray or to worship or have some meditation. Yeah, so it can also help you to be present also, or think about what are the things that actually you can be grateful for. Yeah, then it can help our mind to see that not only the stressful part, but there are also some of the parts that would be like a blessing in our life. And lastly, having a bedtime wind down ritual would be helpful. So for some people, it's like off the light. Some people would be listening to some music to feel calm, or some people could be like doing the grounding technique, the 4-7-8 breathing would be helpful. So you can have your rituals like throughout the day. Some of the things is just for yourself, like the morning tea or morning coffee, or the micro break. What are some of the things, like if let's say you work in the office, maybe walk to the cafeteria would be helpful. Like just grab a tea, a snacks, or just walk around for a while, then come back to work. Sometimes it can also give you a little bit more creativity or energy as well. Okay, and I want to talk about the last point, reconnect. So now we talk about we have to rewind to know that actually what are the experiences lead us to the career choice that we chose today. And we talk about recharge, because without energy, we cannot execute the things that we enjoy. And lastly is to reconnect, because after reflections, then you will get to know a bit more about yourself. So then you can reconnect with yourself again. Yeah. And I have another reflection question for you to think about your career life right now. So imagine it's your retirement celebration. You're going to celebrate your retirement. What do you want to be remembered for? So for example, for some people, it could be like the impact at work. Some people would be like, oh, you are the kind of colleague or leader, like it's like this or that, like what kind of leader or colleague that you want to be, or the differences that you have made in different people's life. Yeah, so it would be good for you to think ahead, like sometimes having some reflection, not all the time. Like to think about, okay, if let's say you want to retire at this age, like how do you want to be remembered for? That would be really helpful for you to plan. Like maybe currently you are 30 years old, for example, and then you want to retire at 60 or 50. Then you have like maybe 20 or 30 years to go. So along the way, what are the things that you want to move on for? And this question will be really helpful for us to check in also whether what we are doing right now are heading to a path that we want to be in the future, or if we want to see in our retirement stage. So if let's say you don't have the time to think about it now, or you find like you are still in the work, having work and listening to a webinar, you are not able to reflect now, you can actually jot down again the questions, and when you have your own time, you can reflect on that. And another thing that I want to introduce is called future-oriented thinking. So sometimes, aside from you want to look back, it would be good for us to look into the future as well. Like for example, like setting like what are the destination that we want to be. Like for example, the retirement reflection will help you to see like the destination where you want to be, and everyone here we actually think very differently about like our past, our present, our future. So having this strong future orientation can help us to better plan, and also it will give us the ability to see beyond the present moment. Like we can imagine about the long-term consequences of our action right now. What are the things that we do can influence our future? And people who cultivate a strong future orientation tend to set a clearer goal. So when you have a clear goals, then you can set a better direction also. So imagine, for example, you are driving and you're just looking at the road in front of you. Then eventually you may actually get lost. Like maybe you get distracted by the car beside you, or something actually like there's a road bump that kind of distract you, and you may forgot about, actually I have a destination that I want to go. But if let's say you set a destination to a place, like in ways, for example, let's say you want to go to Valley, and similarly as like another car driver, sometimes we may have like a similar things that we want as similarly as the people around us, and some people may be faster, some people may be slower, but it would be good for us to focus on the destination instead of like the people around us. Yeah, because if let's say we focus on other people, it doesn't lead us to the way that we want to be at. And if let's say you focus on your own personal goal, it will help you to go to the path. It's just that maybe sometimes we can be slower or faster than different people, because we are actually having different experience in our life. There are different challenges that we face, and sometimes you are actually for some people they are having really like a difficulties on certain things. For example, they are taking care of like maybe young children, especially the first few years will take a lot of attention. Yeah, then you may have lesser time than other people in terms of your career. So it would be good for us to focus on like where we want to be would be better than us comparing ourselves to other people. Yeah, and with that, then we can set intentional, clear milestone as well. Yeah, so if let's say you want to retire at 50, and currently your age would be 40 years old, then you will have like a 10 years more to go, and you can break it into different months. So for example, 10 times 12 will be 120. Then you have 120 months to go. Then you can set it into like different level. Like just an example, but you can do it like depends on like how you want to do it. Like a yearly plan is also fine. So for example, this person want to retire at 50 and currently 40 years old, you can even like break it into 3 levels, and then each level will be 40 months. So maybe in this each level, for example, if let's say you set a goal end of last year, so this year what are the things that you want to focus until maybe April 2028. Yeah, so if let's say you find it too long, like 40 months, you can actually change it to be like a 6-month or 12-month things, like having different milestone, different goals for you. And when you hit certain milestone, make sure you reward yourself as well, so that it can keep you motivated to where you want to be. So this is more of like to gamify, like what are the things that you want to achieve in your career, but at the same time make it a bit more fun and enjoyable. So you can also think about, okay, what age you want to retire today, and what age you are right now. So then you can see like how many years to go, how many months to go that you have. Yeah, so lastly, these are the 3 points that we talk about today: rewind, recharge, and reconnect. And I do see some of the comments at the side, and also a question there. I will answer it soon. And if let's say you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to put it here. I will make sure that I read it through later. Yeah, so before we end, we have this support and resources for you to know. So there's this free 24/7 Naluri text line. If you need any urgent support, maybe during midnight, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, aside from ChatGPT, you can actually talk to the professional in Naluri. So you can just maybe take a screenshot of the number. If let's say you ever need help, you can actually text us. We'll make sure that the person on the end is actually a human and is a trained professional as well. And aside from that, we have this one-on-one Naluri consultation, where if let's say you felt that after listening to the webinar today, you want to explore more about your career, then you can actually go to the website. You can scan this code and to book a session with us. If let's say you are under a company plan, most of the time you actually can get it for free. Then you can just scan the consultation session and book with some of us here. So there are many different profiles in the website you can go through as well. And we have this emotional well-being assessment as well in the app. If let's say you want to get to know more about your mental state, you can just take like less than 3 minutes to just get to know more about your emotional well-being. You can do it like once a month to check in with yourself, so that you know whether you are doing okay, or whether you are in the enjoyable flow state, or you are at a bored kind of state, or actually you feel a little bit burnt out. So this will be really helpful for you. And yes, we have app and also website. So these are the QR code also. If let's say you have not downloaded the app, you can feel free to scan the code, or you can visit our website. Yeah, so we also have social media account if let's say you want to stay connected with us. Yeah, so one last thing is, if you are using the app, actually we also have the chat function where you can chat with the professional also. So if let's say you are not prefer talking or having video call, so you can actually chat with the professional in the app, so they will be sure to reply you too. So now will be the Q&A sessions, and I would love to read the question here. Yeah, so before that, there's this feedback form. If let's say you are in the midst of thinking about what question to ask, feel free to do the feedback form on the left side of your screen. So there's this webinar feedback form. You can feel free to do it and share your feedback there. And I wouldn't know who actually write what, so you can feel free to share the experiences, so that we can continue to improve to better meet your needs. Yeah, and the handout will be on the right side of your screen as well. I think you will be able to download it here now. So let me read the question that I saw earlier on. If you set short destination and have reached, then what do you do next? Okay, this is a very good question. What if we reach our goal, right? So it would be good, maybe we have some time to reflect about a long-term thing. Yeah, and even if you set a destination, would be good for you to review. Is it something that I want right now? Because as our life stages move on, or depending on the life events that we went through, sometimes it can actually change our mind, can actually change the things that we want in life. So it would be good for you to reflect on in long term, retirement stage, what are the things that you want to achieve, what are the things that you want to see in yourself, because our company can change, but who we are and the skill sets with us will continue to stay with us. So the most important things, I think, would be to understand yourself more, so that you can continue to set different destination to where you want to be. And the goal is not to set as many destination or as many goals, but more of to move towards the direction that actually makes you feel more enjoyable and satisfied. It's helpful for us to recharge our energy by asking support from superior to boost during working time. Yeah, so if let's say you have a supportive superior, sometimes getting the help from the people around us will be really helpful. So especially if let's say from superior, then it can help with certain arrangement. How to handle demotivation? I would say demotivation, many people may experience that, but the reason actually can be really different. So it would be good for you to either reflect on what are the things that you actually feel really demotivated, and since when you started to feel that. And from there, actually it can tell us a little bit more information to know what are some of the things that actually bothers you. Because our feelings is like this, it will stay until we notice it. So if let's say we continue to feel demotivated, there's something that the feeling want to tell us. If let's say you find it really hard to reflect on yourself, you can feel free to book a session with us or chat with us in the Naluri app. And then you can just let the coach or the therapist know that, hey, I actually been experiencing demotivations and I want to explore more to understand how can I overcome it. And that would be really helpful, because I don't have like a 3-step and then the same thing for everyone, because everyone are experiencing the different things. Do you have tips on how to find goals like in career? In terms of finding goals, again, I think the most important thing is not about setting a goals, but to first understand what would you want in your career. So your feelings will be a really good signal or information that tells you. So you can reflect on what are the things that you actually feel enjoy. You're feeling happy doing it, or you feel quite challenged, and that will help you to see what are the things that you're good at, what are the things that you enjoy at. Like for some people, they are very good with people skills. They really enjoy like engaging with people, building relationship with clients. But if you ask them to do like the technical kind of work or paperwork, they really struggle. But some people are really good with technical or paperwork. So we're good to know who you are as a person, your talent and your skills, and that will help you to set a goal. I try to meditate too, but when I do, it's hard to quiet my mind. It will start thinking a million things. Okay. Yeah, so it seems like there are a lot of things bothering you. And I think if let's say you yourself, when you do the meditation, it doesn't help already, then it would be good for you to talk to either your loved one or talk to maybe a professional to explore what are the things that actually has been bothering you, because it seems like there are really a lot of things. And when we don't notice that, our mind, our emotion will continue to, again, to signal us, to remind us about their presence. It's normal to feel bored even when doing something that you love. Yeah, it's normal to feel bored, like even when you're doing something that you love. If let's say you're doing the same thing, you enjoy it, but there's no variations, and sometimes we get bored as well. And maybe when it's the time for you to explore something new, like doesn't have to be like new hobby, but could be having some sort of like a slight difference would make a difference as well. Like for example, if let's say you usually enjoy swimming, so you can maybe set out some different challenge, like learning some new way of swimming, or I want to hit certain goal when you swim. Yeah, that actually will help you to feel slightly different when you add some variations into that. How to handle ourselves to be patient or calm when busy work? I think when it comes to time that we feel really busy and overwhelmed, it's normal to feel stressed. Then I think would be good to make sure you have enough sleep, enough rest, and do the breathing that I taught earlier on, the 4-7-8 breathing, because that can help us to our mind to calm down a little bit, because it's very normal to get irritated when we are feeling stressed. So make sure that you get enough rest. Make sure that you do some type of micro break, like break in between, walk to the cafeteria. It will help. But if let's say you realize yourself like becoming more and more irritated and affecting like maybe people around you or even yourself, then maybe it would be good to explore a little bit more with the professional or share with your loved one to ask them like what do they observe. Overthinking really drain energy. Please share some tips to overcome that. Okay, when it comes to overthinking, I would say usually people who overthink, they think ahead. There are a lot of things that they want to take care of. Hence, like there's overthinking as well, and it could be also due to the childhood experience. Some people, because of some experience, continue to think about trying to find a solution, keep them to feel safe. Yeah, so it would be good to get to know like what are the things that actually it makes you think so much. Yeah, because overthink come from somewhere that you care of. Maybe there are certain things that are really important to you, hence you overthink. Yeah, but in terms of like how to overcome it, would be good to know like what are the things that you have been overthinking of and what leads to this, so that then it will be more helpful to think about like how to overcome that. But short answer would be doing the breathing will help, and then you take some time to pause or write it down what are the things that you overthink about, and then you do some sort of like a true the fact check, like whether is it something that it makes sense to worry, or is it something that I'm overthinking of, and what are the things that would be helpful in the situation. So writing it on the paper, doing breathing would be helpful. But if not, you can actually talk to us in the app, in the chat, or book a consultation session with us. Okay, let me check if I missed any of the questions. Okay, but I saw a new thing. If the job is no longer meaningful, is it right for us to quit? What can strengthen our decisions? Okay, I would say sometimes quitting the job could be the right decision. Sometimes it may be not. So I think it sounds like you may not. You may need to have like a bit more clarity. So maybe you can reflect on what are the things that it used to make you feel like meaningful, and what are the things that it makes you feel like it's no longer meaningful, and is there any ways that can happen in your work right now to kind of like make it more meaningful again. If not, then if let's say you want to change your job, in a new job, what are the things that you want to see in it? Then if let's say you really want to create and you want to search for a new job, it can also give you a bit more direction, like so that you don't pick the same job again and then you feel the same like not meaningful kind of feeling again. Stability in work life, or the ability to try the unknown by losing those financial stability, which one is better for career? It's a very good question when it comes to like financial stabilities, or whether to try on new things. This is a question that I think I cannot answer for you, because you will be the one who can answer better, or who will be the one who made the decision, because different people, to them is very different. Like for some people, financial stability is very important to them. Some people, they feel that they want to continue to adventure, they want to try it out. There's no wrong about that. But most importantly, it's about like how do you feel about it? Whether do you find, is it better for you to have some sort of financial stability, or is it better to have a work-life balance or something? Yeah. So if let's say you are a bit unsure, so it'd be good to reflect or write it down, or check with us as well. That would be really helpful. If you work hard on something but it doesn't bring out the result that you want, how do you find back your motivation? I think it sounds like sometimes it can be really discouraging. If let's say you're working so hard and then the result is not that it doesn't satisfy you, then yeah, I think then it would be good to acknowledge that yeah, you do feel really discouraged, you do feel tired, and at that point, I would say maybe it would be good for you to think about what do you need at that moment. Yeah, sometimes for some people, it's taking some time to rest, and then to see is it something that they want to continue to try on, or they want to try a different way. Yeah, but I think it would be good for you to understand and notice the feeling first, so that you know actually where it comes from. Because sometimes by acknowledging and labeling the emotion, it helps us to feel calmer, and you know what are the things that it makes you feel that way. Yeah, compared to like, because I think a lot of us sometimes when we feel really down, we want to push ourselves to be happy again. But when we face something really tough, it's normal to feel like some of the unpleasant feeling, like feeling discouraged, feeling really down. How can we convince our mind to stop worrying about all the unfinished work at night and just go to sleep earlier? A quick answer would be doing the breathing work. But if let's say there's still a lot of worry, I'll encourage you to talk to a therapist, and that will be really helpful. Yeah, so talking to a therapist, it doesn't mean that you have any psychological disorder. Sometimes there are people coming in just want to gain some career clarity. They want to explore more about their career goal. Sometimes it's more of like the stress at work place, because work nowadays can be really stressful, and it's not like a lot of time like we need to use a lot of our brain energy to think about how to do things. The reason why I feel drained is because I have to do all my superior work while he just play around. What do you suggest for me to do? I spoke to higher up, but it seemed almost 2 years of waiting for a resolution. Oh, wow. Wow. If let's say that's the case, it can be, sometimes we will feel really unfair. Like if let's say you face certain things like that, like if like you're actually taking on like another person's work, but you are not maybe you're not getting 2% pay. Yeah, we can really feel really unfair about that. And so it seems like you have been there for 2 years. It'd be good for you to reflect on what actually makes you stay for the 2 years. Yeah, because 2 years is actually very long. Yeah, and for you to pull through the 2 years, I think you have really a great strength and a lot of perseverance in that. And maybe you are currently hit to a point that the drain feeling would be good for you to pause as well. Right? Remember the recharge the pause button to pause on, like, is it something that you want to continue to try on in a company? Because it seems like you have tried a few ways, or you want to have some differences in life. Yeah, but before that, I think when we feel drained, it will be good for you to recharge first, to reflect on what are the things that help you to regain the energy. Then only think about what are the action to make. Because when we are really drained, it's very hard for us to think better of, or think about what are the things that we want. Sometimes our body will just say you need rest, and you cannot think about things that in the future because you don't have the energy for that. You are not building your own wealth. This works for me to stop me overthink about work. Okay, I think someone shared like a helpful tips as well, like to focus on what you're building. And when we are like keep like training our health, actually it comes with a cost also, because in long run eventually our body may actually feel really really drains, and eventually cannot work. Just like our car, if you don't send to maintenance, after a while eventually it can break down. I feel very drained, but I still believe on this company. But to be honest, it's not fair. It's still getting paid for doing nothing. Yeah, I think it's true. This is actually from private message, so I won't read the name. Yeah, so if let's say there are certain things that you still believe in the company, then maybe it would be good to find out a bit more, like what are some of the things would be within your controls, and focus on like what are the things that you want to continue to latch on, like continue to leverage on, like in this company. What are the things that you still want to grow? And then I think that would be helpful for you to see if you how long more you want to stay in the company, and within the few years, and or like within the 10 years or so, like what are the things that you can do to meet your needs, to meet your goals. Because when it comes to like how our superior work is something that out of our control, like who they are as a person. Yeah, so we can see what are the things that's still within your control, and you can do something about it. But if let's say you eventually try everything but it doesn't work, then maybe there will be a moment that for you to rethink again about your decision, what are the decision that you want to make. Okay, I realized 11:08:09. Okay, do you guys have any other questions? If not, I think we may end the webinar now. But if let's say you still have things that you want to continue to talk about, feel free to book a consultation session or chat with us. And I will just go to the past message just in case I miss any questions earlier on. Yeah, if not, feel free to leave the webinar. If let's say you have finished answering the questions and have do the feedback form and also take the PDF file. Okay, seems like there's no more questions in the past messages. If there's any that I miss out, please feel free to let me know just in case that I miss it out. Yeah, welcome. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to come for this webinar. So I have a good time chatting with all of you here. Yeah, welcome.